My name's Jason and I'm gonna make compost. So I started out, I cut the grass yesterday. So I have a little bit of grass right here, and the reason why I'm doing it right here is because I'm gonna put a garden for next spring. So now I have a little bit of fresh grass right here. For one thing, you need green, which is grass, and dry, which is the hay, or you can use leaves. And that's what makes it hot, and that's what makes it break down fast. So I'm going to start layering it out right now. So I'm going to add this hay with turkey manure in it. So it'll be good fertilizer for the garden next year too. And this will also, the manure will also help make it hot. The pile has to be probably at least 4 foot high, even 3 feet high, and 3 feet, 4 feet wide, because it needs to be bigger. I guess that helps it break down faster and it gets hotter. And this is older compost stuff and wood shavings with turkey manure in it and chicken manure. And turkey feathers that I just butchered last week. There's nitrogen in the feathers, which will help it break down faster. I know it's kind of gross that I'm using my hands, but I got gloves on. So, and this dirt here is compost that I made about 2 weeks ago, or finished making about 2 weeks ago. And it came from the pile right over there. You have to mix it every 2 to 3 days while it's hot. If you don't mix it, then it stops being hot and it doesn't break down fast anymore. So now I'm going to stick a couple shovels of that compost I was talking about, and this will help activate it and make it break down faster. So, because of the bacteria in it, I guess, or organisms. So, I'll just add over to this. And then now I'll put some more green grass in. I probably do it a different way than a lot of people, but this works for me. It took me like 10 years to figure it out. I always threw the right stuff in, but I didn't realize about mixing it every 2 days, and it never broke down. It took like a year to break down. So now that I know, I just mix it every 2 days with the rototiller, and it works good for me. So that'll be enough green grass for now. Grab some more hay. I like to break it up a little bit just so air can get to it, because that helps it also. That's why you have to mix it every 2 days, because it needs the air. That's how it stays hot. hay. And I had some household compost, coffee, peelings, banana peels, fruit that's ripened way too fast. So now I'll add some more compost. Green grass. Look at the color of this grass here. I actually cut the grass. This grass here is 2 days old and it's already breaking down. It's warm. I can feel the heat in my hands. Probably like 80 Fahrenheit. So, add more hay. My chickens are molting, so there's a lot of feathers in there also. Corn husk's probably not going to break down that fast, but throw it in anyways. Compost. So I got a pretty big pile here, and tomorrow, if it doesn't rain, I'm gonna add more grass and hay, and then after that, it should take about 18 days to turn it into that black compost that you seen earlier. So I'll be back in a couple days. Hi, it's the next day, and I'm gonna add to the pile, and I have this compost thermometer. Tells you how hot it is. It's 60 right now. That's how hot it is already, just from the grass and the hay And we just stuck this pile together yesterday. So it says right on the thermometer active, so this is where it's showing how hot it is. And it's already at about 130 and climbing. So it's gonna compost pretty fast. But I just cut the grass again, so we're gonna add to this pile today, and then after this, every 2 days, I'll come and mix it up and repile it. I was on time lapse, but my phone doesn't have enough memory, so I'm doing it all on video now. I'm new to this, doing YouTube, so I'm still learning. So bear with me, and hopefully I'll get better at this. As you can see, the pile's getting nice and big. Basically getting all this dirt ready for next year, the spring. And that's it. So every 2 days from now on, I'll be mixing her up and then piling it back into a pile. And that's how you keep it hot, so the air can get at it. And this is day 2 after finishing adding the pile. And this is how hot it is. So today will be the first day I turn it. This is how hot it's going to be today. So I'm going to use the roto tiller to turn the whole pile, and then I'll pile it back up into a pile with a shovel. So it's at 160 right now. the steam coming off there. That's how hot it was, 160. So I'm going to stop right here. This is day 2 after putting the pile together. You don't really need to see me put it back into a pile, and I'll be back in a minute. Day 4 on turning the compost pile. It's shrunken quite a bit in the last 4 days. So this will be the second time turning it. And the temperature is at about 154 or something. So I'm going to turn it and I'll get back to you. You don't need to watch that over and over again. This is what it looks like on the inside after mixing. Have it all piled back up in a hill. And I'll get back to you on day 6. Day 6. I started building my garden edging for the raised garden for next spring. And here's the thermometers going in. Let's see what it's at. Well, it's not quite as hot. It's still about 144. So I'm gonna mix it up and I'll get back to you. And I'll show you what it looks like in the middle after I mix her up. And this is day 6. So this is what it looks like on the inside. Started another compost pile here off to the side. I'm not going to mix it in. Sorry, getting pretty black already. Day 8. And the compost is 140 Fahrenheit. And I'm going to turn it. It's starting to cool down a bit, but also could be because it poured today, and that could cool it down. I'll be back after I mix her. So it's breaking down pretty good. You can see it's composting pretty fast. I'm going to put it back into a hill and I'll get back to you. Day 10. And the compost thermometer is 120. It's cooling down too because as the pile gets smaller, it doesn't hold the heat like it would if it was bigger. But I'm gonna mix her up and I'll get back. So this is what it looks like on the inside. It's breaking down pretty fast. And I put it back in a pile and I'll be back. Day 12. The temperature of the compost is around 116 Fahrenheit. I'm gonna turn it, I'll be back. So I have it all turned, mixed up. It's getting really dark now. It's almost like muddy. And it's only day 12. I'm gonna put it back into a pile. And I'll see you on day 14. Day 14. Pile's looking nice and dark. It's composting pretty fast. The temperature is 110. So I'm gonna mix it up and I'll be right back. So it's looking pretty good. And now I'm gonna put it back into a pile, and I'll see you on day 16. It's looking pretty good, but it's only day 16, and it's at, well, it's 78. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some peat moss and really mix it up good, because to me it doesn't look done, but when it cools down, that's saying it's done. But I'll get back to you and we'll see what it looks like after I mix her. So I mixed her up and looks pretty good. So I'm gonna add some peat moss now, and then mix her all together and pile it back up into a hill. I'll get back. I have a half a bag of peat moss in there. I'm gonna mix it all together and put it back into a pile. So I have the half a bag of peat moss all mixed into the compost. And the meter says it's on the cool side. It's saying that it's all done. I just thought it could actually use a few more days, just because there's still some hay in it and stuff, but it's a lot of black soil in there also. So I mixed the peat moss in just to help break up the muddy chunks, and I did it in my last pile and it seemed to work good. So this is what works for me, so that's all I'm telling you guys. See you in the next video on day 18. Day 19, the compost is done. Now I'll just let it sit until probably end of April, because that's when snow is pretty much gone. Maybe even May. We have longer winters up here. I'm in zone 1. So I'll mix her up again then and put it down in the garden.